Hello and welcome back to Remembering Tuscola webcast. I'm David Porter. I'm here with the complex Mike Carroll and the simple Bill Englehardt.
Yeah.
Not a simpleton, just simple needs
Yeah.
that we were talking off air and someone was described as being simple or and Bill thought that was nice, it's you know and Mike on the other hand, did not want to be remembered as a simple man
Or a simpleton, I thought you
or a
said.
simpleton.
Simpleton.
Well, Bill's no simpleton.
No,
He's a simple man, but no ton.
there you are. I like that.
Bill likes it. See, he's very simple. He's very easy to please. Okay, David, what you got for us today?
Well, Bill wanted to see the one that was in the paper.
I just wonder if they had any response to it.
Is this the one?
So there you are. Isn't that her? Right?
Oh, Bill, go ahead.
That's Mrs. Kletcher, Dr. John Kletcher's widow. Leota was her first name, I believe. And for years, there's been a scholarship in memory of Dr. Kletcher.
And
But she lived on Daggy Street. Dr. Kletcher's house was on Daggy Street years ago. Not many people would recognize
I
her.
actually was treated once by Dr. Kletcher.
Were you?
Yeah. Were you
Yeah.
ever treated?
he was dressed up for Halloween and rang his doorbell.
I think.
Yeah. Of course, you were supposed to be dead back then.
Yeah, I was supposed to be dead anyway. Didn't matter.
Mhm.
No,
Who's
That looks like Edgar Allan Poe.
the guy in the background? Is that
perhaps a musician.
I think it's Edgar Allan Poe.
I don't know.
She was a classy lady, always well dressed, made up. So
She wasn't simple.
No, she wasn't simple. It was in the paper.
All right, you ready for this week's pictures?
Can't
let's
wait.
Let's hope we get one or two.
Oh, you'll get some of them.
We already got that one. Did I win $15? One year I won $15.
You got to phone it in or to the paper. I don't know.
You gotta call the paper.
I don't think this counts.
This isn't the paper.
Oh,
This is the podcast.
well, I was hoping to win something.
Well, where's my oh, you know what?
You've lost them all?
I gotta click off of this
Yeah, you should click off of back in the day.
and
Week runs about 4 pages
It does.
out of the past. They talk about the 1924 Thanksgiving Day game against Tuscola. Well, there's Dietrich and Hubert, looks like to me.
Yeah, let me look here. 14's Dietrich.
Dietrich working his tail off.
You were waiting to get the rebound, put the layup in, add to his totals.
Look at the sideburns on that opponent.
Yeah.
look at the score. It's close.
Yeah.
Oh,
How much time's left?
3:42 in the fourth quarter, 57-56.
Yeah.
Burris is probably pulling his hair out.
Kicking the bleachers.
Hey, by the way, now this is at Tuscola, and I want you to look in the background at the people lined up against the wall.
Well, the wall's open.
So
They've got overflow crowd in the cafeteria.
Yes, they do. They put up bleachers in the cafeteria.
As big as that gym is, with the bleachers upstairs and downstairs on both sides, they still had to bring in more bleachers.
Yep.
How many people will the gym hold by itself?
Back then it was over
2,000.
2,000.
2,200 maybe.
So you're looking at probably 2,500 people that night for that game,
Mhm.
Yeah.
at least.
Well, there wasn't much to do back then. There's Dieter
Boy,
again.
there he is.
Snake.
Is that Sarah Gordo?
Well,
Dieter'd have to tell us. Cerro Gordo had a great team.
It is Cerro Gordo.
Had a great team. Homer Oldfield. They went to state.
Lickensdorfer,
Rudy,
for brothers, remember them?
Yeah. This is yeah, this was a big game. Oka
Yeah.
tournament, maybe.
Yeah, Dieter scored all of his points off of rebounds because around the basket.
Rudy says Dietrich, and it says Rudy's behind him. Cerro Gordo, Larry Flume, Mark Mull.
Yeah, that's that championship team that went to the state tournament for Cerro Gordo.
Look at the crowd.
Well, why is he wearing a safety helmet?
Well, that's it said Rudy says a lot of the dads wore gold painted hard hats. I don't know why. He didn't say why. But that's his mom standing in the front, in the middle.
Oh, and there's Bill Huber with his helmet.
Bill's got a.
Is that with Kenny Ring?
Some of these negatives scan better than others.
Harris? His wife.
Yeah, John Harris.
His wife.
Yeah, Marlene.
Leo Flieger.
So that's probably what, Brian?
Possibly.
I never remember which one's his dad.
My goodness. What a picture.
What was it?
Cool.
73, 74?
I think so.
Something like that. There's Smith is number 10.
That's Sanderson. 20.
Sanderson probably 20. This would have been a heck of a game. Rudy, say who won that game? Look on the bench. I see Connor sitting on the end of the bench there. He's
Kevin.
Kevin.
Kevin has got names of everyone on the, or most of them on the bench.
I don't doubt it.
He said he wanted to give the guys on the bench some props. So he says, left to right to left, Kevin Connor, Chris Townsend, not sure with his hands over his mouth, Jeff Oakley and Neil Oakley.
Wow.
It's amazing you can see that from that photo.
That's a pretty good outfit, combination of guys, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
The Blue Devils. That big kid has to be a Waymire. Looks like he's about 6'6".
Killed the one killed in the car wreck out there about a mile east of Tuscola.
I'm not for sure.
The T section. Well, Waymire played in 76, 77. Could be a.
No, that's a different one then.
Yeah, some of these are different years.
Yeah,
that. Well, number 11 is that's not John's sermon. That was John's number, but that's not John.
Well, if this is 77, I've got a team picture later that might be able to.
well, that's 77. That is Waymire.
And that's in the Villa Grove gym.
Sandy Rich.
That's Sandy Rich.
Tom's ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And playing the part of Mike Carroll on Facebook, Rudy Huber says that's a microwave.
Well, Rudy invented that technique, and that's a water fountain behind her head.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Got a name on that?
Nope, no names on this one. I recognize that tea kettle though.
Yeah, I know. We used to own that.
Yeah, we had one just like it.
Well,
The old time scoreboards. This is the start of the game, pretty much
it's like
as
they're playing.
first quarter.
That says Unity.
Yeah, but that's when
Yeah,
they had those. Who's that official? Man, that official looks familiar.
Yeah, this
No.
is in the Unity gym, so
Yeah.
Not Wayne Norton. It's not
See, they used to light those up, had your name up there and how many fouls you had and all that good stuff.
so Kevin Connor says he hated playing in this gym, but it's funny when he moved to the Unity School District and his son started playing it, he loved the gym. He says it was Unity was pretty unbeatable in it, small, cramped, and hot. So
what year is that? 77?
No, that's Dietrich there. That's their
You
mid
think so?
70s, mid 70s.
You think that's Dietrich? Who's jumping center then?
Rudy,
well, there was a Dietrich in 77 too. Dave played on the
that's true.
77 team.
Well, but that doesn't look like Dave.
No, I don't.
You don't think it's Doug?
No, I don't think it's Doug either. It's too heavy set. Who's 23 here? It looks like
That looks like Smith. That's Sanderson back there. Back for defense, it looks like.
it does look like Sanderson. Who's 23 then? We should know him.
Let's see if I got any other comments on
Rudy ought to know these.
this picture. Okay, Andrea Huber says Doug Dietrich, Phil Waters, Neil Oakley, ? Rudy Huber.
Bill Waters, he thinks 23
23.
is Phil.
Yeah.
And Rudy says Steve Sanderson in background. Unity Regional Semifinal in Villa Grove versus Villa Grove 1973. Doc Zanders, Ken Swihart, Dennis Mitzdorfer, Phil Randall, ?
We're still trying to get the ref.
Boy, it looks familiar.
Lauren Huber says, loving the socks.
We like those socks.
Yeah,
They're nice.
I wore those socks up into the 1990s when I started getting made fun of for my socks.
Well, 23 doesn't look like Phil Waters, but
Bill's changed.
you and I haven't. Isn't that
I
amazing?
know. It's amazing.
I've gotten more complex, and you've gotten more simple.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Rudy says 33 is himself.
That's what I thought.
Well, Rudy would know. I didn't know Rudy could jump that high.
Well, he probably can't anymore.
Well, you don't know.
Well, yeah, he might. He's pretty active. He's pretty fit.
Right. He's still farming.
Yeah.
There's Rude going up for a shot. Sanderson's 21. Dietrich's coming in the middle. Who's 11 now?
Well, Rudy's got Rick Smith, Steve Sanderson, Doc Zanders, Beezer, Dietrich,
Well, that has to be Rick Smith. He thinks 11 is Rick Smith then.
Brian Carr, Phil Randall, Dennis Mitzdorfer, and Rudy Huber. Yeah. So that's what Rudy's got. And since Rudy's in the picture, we'll go with that.
Gym is packed. Look at those Converse tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are Chuck Taylors. I don't usually have action shots because they're usually not very good, but these were decent enough to use. Rudy's got names on this one. Jeff McCown, Phil Randall, Dennis Mitzdorfer, Rudy Huber. Let's see another comment here.
The old fan-shaped glass board. Ours were steel. Men of steel.
Jerry Breen,
Oh, Jerry,
Bruno, played football for Buckle back in
in the day.
57, 58, 59. I don't know who's that, his wife?
No, that's Gene Waters, it looks like.
I don't think so.
But I don't think so.
But that's Jerry
I don't
Breen.
know, but that's old Jerry Breen.
Bruno lived out on the road to Bourbon, farmed out north of Bourbon.
Tanya Scarlett says, my dad, his wife, my mom, L. Francis Breen.
I'll be darned. Tanya, she was in school, I think, with Nathan, but I can't remember now.
What was related to Tom Dilts? Was Tom Dilts related? Stepson or something?
Stepson.
Stepson.
Mhm.
Remember what Tom Dilts was famous for after high school?
No, I don't.
Invented those baggy pants. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, looked like pajamas, real baggy. Yeah.
He wasn't a bad ball. He was a good ball
He was a
player.
good ball player, football and basketball.
Yeah. I didn't know that was Mrs. Breen. Okay.
Well, there's Kalmar center on the
Kalmar.
left and another Kalmar. Two Kalmars in that picture.
Is this Christy Kleiss?
Christy Kleiss, Christy Townsend, third from right.
I should know the one right in the middle, but kind of slow on the draw today.
I think got two Kalmar girls in there, I'm guessing.
Well, Rudy says
This picture was taken. This is at
That's a
Bates
Bates
Memorial.
Memorial.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you got? Rudy, identify them all.
Well, Rudy says Karen Kalmar, Gail Seeney, Maureen Apgar, Brenda Rogers, Christy Kleiss, Jeree Shook. Mercy says Rhonda McCumber, far left, Jane Todd, Kathy Jacobs, 2. And Miss Tuscola 1975 contestants.
Gail Seeney.
That's what I thought. Gail Seeney's third from the left.
Mm-hmm.
Sandy is her older sister.
Older sister, Bob's brother.
And I think Christy Townsend was Miss Tuscola, Christy Kleiss that year.
I think.
I think so.
We should have got Brenda Rogers.
We should have. That's one I said I should know, but I didn't name her.
I got some of these individuals repeat, but they changed outfits, and I didn't try to match up faces to see which ones repeated and which ones didn't. So we'll just get through them.
I'm not sure.
Marcy says Kathy Jacobs.
Oh, that's Gail Seeney.
That's Gail Seeney.
Gail Seeney.
Gail Seeney.
Mm-hmm.
Rhonda McCumber. Rhonda Gensler. Kalmar. Jeree. Is that Jeree Shook?
I believe so.
Christy has tagged her.
Yeah.
Christy.
Geez, Rhonda had a lot of hair.
She did. Looked like Rumpelstiltskin.
Gensler.
Rhonda Gensler, Rhonda McCumber. Sini,
Brenda.
Brenda Rogers. That's at the vault. That's on your, as you walk up the steps, the old bank.
I was just gonna offer bonus points because I knew you would know
Yeah,
where that wooden design is now.
yeah.
Well, he's rather complex.
Mezzanine at the vault. Beautiful thing. We tried to figure out how to take it apart and put it somewhere else. Afraid we'd tear it up. Rhonda again. Looks like all the girls, now they're at the Base Memorial. You know, I do think that that wooden thing was at the Base Memorial.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Bank came into the bank.
Right.
George Edwards got it, brought it to the bank.
Yeah, all these were taken out at base.
And that's about the only thing Base was good for was occasional photograph. It was not a very functional building. Sini again. Brenda Rogers.
Who was a photographer, you suppose? Phil White?
Probably Bob Hastings.
Rabito. Red Baron.
Kathy Jacobs.
Yep.
Rudy says Jane Todd. Jeree Shook.
Mm-hmm. Christie.
Miss Tuscola.
A lot of pretty girls. Nice
Well,
girls.
Marcy says Maureen Apgar Trinkle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I think Bob took the picture.
Yeah, the Red Baron. He's in his element, isn't he?
Yeah.
But someone
Okay,
else
all sing.
someone else took this picture, so I don't know.
Nice tie, Bob.
Yeah, Bob, that went out with the clowns in the 1920s.
Looks like Greg.
Kalmar. We've had her before.
Jane Todd. All right. Now we've got another town football team.
Arthur. Have no idea.
That Arthur Rudy thought it might be Newman.
Possibly.
The old high school.
Hang on.
Old high school at Newman.
Could be Newman because I looked at it, first looked at like Arthur.
Kenny Roll. Zero in on the right over here. Is that Kenny Roll, the old coach?
I don't know. About
Yeah,
that
that's Newman. Newman Redskins.
bunch of ruffians.
They were rough.
I don't know why they were in this group of pictures, but they were.
That's the Mills.
Is
Weaver.
that what's his
Is that
name?
Weaver?
Chapman?
That is Chapman from Atwood.
Craig Chapman.
Craig Chapman took over the
Pharmacy.
Yeah, Eric Alexander says Craig Chapman back left. Marcy says Mary Smith and Betty Dietrich right, question mark.
Craig was an Atwood boy. Emerson Chapman's boy, I think.
Betty Dietrich's John's mother.
Yes.
Oh gosh, she looks familiar.
She
She's got
does.
a name tag there.
Can't read it.
I can't either.
Paula? Pam?
Paula. Yeah, can't read the last name. It doesn't have any comments on this one, but there's a song by the Kinks called Ducks in the Wall that came to mind when I saw this picture.
I thought of the same thing, but you and I are complex.
We're complex.
You know, that's Bill Crum.
The Villa Grove guy coaching at Newman.
Great coach, really. Great
Yeah.
school man.
Bill Crum. Good softball player.
Oh, God. Oh, geez. This is driving me nuts.
You know who it is.
Smith?
I do.
Smith?
No. I do
Give
know,
us the
and
initials.
I can't place it.
Give you a hint. He was my neighbor at one time. That help?
Nope.
R.
Oh, geez.
Reinhardt,
Mm-mm.
Gene Reinhardt.
Bill Fruit's stepfather.
Help us out. Just
Robbie
tell.
Robinson.
Oh, Robbie Robinson. I knew him. Robbie Robinson helped Dad pull the fender out from that Oldsmobile that I wrecked in a ditch. They took it out the plant and put it in the shop, the machine shop.
With the old
Tied
vice
a-
grip on it.
Put the old log chain around that fender and bent that fender back out. Robbie is a good
So
guy.
that's
He
one
was
of
a
the,
good
that's one of the
guy.
many reasons you went to military school.
Well, things happen.
Well, we're starting. There's Newman again. I think that was all the kids in the high school right there.
Marcy
Um,
thinks asked if number 51 could be Kim Underwood.
I'm looking for Bobby Faust if he's of that era.
There's 51.
This is 73, don't forget.
Yeah, Bobby, he graduated before that. Bill Crum, good coach. That's Mrs. Colbecker.
She's a saint, one of her many daughters.
Diane?
And that's a picture of Paul in the back. Well, which one's Paul and Tim? Two boys.
Marcy says it's Julie.
Could be.
It looks like Diane, though, doesn't it? That's who I first thought when I saw it.
Oh, kind of favored one another.
They all were blondes. Show the two guys back there.
Miss Colbecker, probably the next thing to sainthood.
She was.
Raised all those
I
kids.
told Tim the other day they ought to put a statue up to her.
Jeez, what a
One of those
nice
Catholic,
lady.
one of those Catholic, like Mrs. Cunningham.
Yeah,
Catholic
Betty
saint mother.
Cunningham. Yep, you're right.
Raised a large family, never say a word. Do a great job. So that's Paul on the left up there. Do you think that's Tim over here?
Can't really
Was there a
tell.
third boy or was just two boys?
Oh, this is Tim on the left.
Later on.
Yeah,
But this is the high school over here.
I don't know.
Grew up in Springfield, tough section of town, he said. Springfield, Lanphier, I think, or was it Griffith?
Yeah, Lanphier, at least when I lived in Springfield, Lanphier was a rough school.
Yeah. That looks like Tuscola. Let's see.
Okay, back left.
Dixon here in the middle.
Well, we got a Dixon and we've got number 50 is Chris Little.
Oh, this 54.
Daryl Rich is next to Chris Little.
Well, 54 is Hogue.
Kenny?
Kenny Hogue, right next to Burris.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Bill Burris. To his left is Kenny Hogue. Little. To his right is Dixon. Which one? I don't know which one of the Dixons. Is that Dave Dietrich?
That's
Looks
Dave.
like Dave.
20. Let's see here.
I recognize 52.
Foster. 34 is Foster.
Yeah, that's Foster.
Eric Foster.
32 is Hauser. Dave Hauser, right?
Yeah, Daryl Rich ought to be in here.
Well, right here.
Yeah, okay, Daryl's down the left.
Yeah, Daryl's standing next to that manager next to Chris Little.
Yeah.
44 looks like a Colbecker.
Could be Paul.
52, you should recognize him.
Is that a Porter?
We've had him on the show.
Porter?
That's Pete. My oldest brother.
Good ball team. Good players.
Okay, there's Daryl. There's a better picture.
That's a better picture of Kenny there. Now you can really see it's Kenny Hogue.
Kenny Hogue jumped out of the gym. Was it Craig Dixon? Dave
Probably.
Dietrich?
He's about 6'6", wasn't he?
He was so tall, yeah, because Doug was 6'4". On the bottom, second one in is Paul Kobecker,
Pete Porter, 52.
Foster.
Eric Foster.
34.
Was 22 a Watts?
That's what I
Virgil.
think. It looks like Virgil.
Virgil Watts.
That's
Mhm.
who I thought.
Darrell Rich could really light it up. I don't think Burris, I don't know if Burris liked him very much, but he didn't start a lot. But when he put him in, he could score. He was a scoring machine.
Dietrich, third from the right in the back.
Yeah.
That's Hauser.
Surprised they don't have more names on this yet, but I just posted
That's
this
Hauser,
morning.
Dave Hauser.
Who's that?
I don't know that.
Boris?
One of the Bories?
Looks like one of the Boris.
Nice uniforms here. A little different. 14's got on odd pants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 14.
There's the elevator right on the downtown by the community building. You and I built that, didn't we? You think that's the Tuscola elevator or is that somewhere else?
It looks like the Tuscola elevator to me.
It's going in the back way.
Well, it's a strange.
You know it?
Someone else suggested Galton, but I think that's
I don't know if
Tuscola.
it's Galton.
Pretty big for Colton.
That's what I thought. A little big for Galton.
I don't know. Those elevators tend to look alike.
They do kind of all look alike. And that's it.
Oh, that was
That was
quick.
sweet.
We got a couple of them right.
You know, we had about 50 pictures.
Oh, that was I just got back from the Army in '73. Went to work in Champaign, the Corps of Engineers in '74. What were you doing?
'73, I was in school and driving for Swingle or Jolly or Buzz Martin and working and going to school.
Who wants me to drive?
Yeah. Who do I drive for today?
Who was your favorite guy to drive for? Cappy?
No, I didn't drive for Cap. I ran with Cappy some and hard to keep up with him in the fog.
He'd run it, huh?
Oh man, well, you didn't think it was foggy.
All those old time guys could see through the fog. Did you know that? Little known fact.
Oh, I thought the world of those guys that I drove.
They were all good guys.
They were all great guys. Yeah, Swingle, Jolly, Bus Martin. Yeah, had a lot of fun.
I thought those were some fun pictures and try and mix up a little bit, get some other generations in there.
Yeah. Notice the clothes. Notice the girls' skirts were getting short back in those days, the '70s. We missed it by about 8 years.
I didn't notice. I
know. You would never notice. You would not notice that, would you?
No, never noticed.
That was the wild '70s.
Drugs.
Drugs.
I think there was more going on than even during our period of time.
Well, drugs were coming in. When we were in high school, alcohol was it. And then I think in the '70s, I was state attorney here in '76. We had marijuana, cocaine. Heck, we had Beretta come speak to the high school. Remember that?
That's right.
I remember Beretta being there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think they had to pay him $10,000 to come do that talk. I was in the back. He was getting ready to go out and talking to him. He started getting himself all pumped up, breathing real deep, beating his chest and stuff. And then he ran out on the stage. He's full of energy. So I tried that on all my campaign speeches. Tony Beretta.
But that class of '77 lost three 3 people in a car accident.
Yeah. You know, his message to all the kids, and the parents were there too. His message, the high school gym was full. His message was, you kids need to tell your parents right now you're doing drugs. That was his main message. He pounded. And after the show was over, after it was all over, I think like 50, 60, 70 kids went and told their parents. I mean, it shocked everybody. Mom,
Really?
smoking wacky tobacco.
Yeah.
And you could knock the parents over with a feather. You know?
Well, the fear I would have in telling my father is the same fear that kept me from ever doing it.
You would never have told your dad. I know you.
I wouldn't have done it in the first place.
How could he get all those kids to go confess to their parents they're doing drugs?
That's emotional.
Well, I mean, are they impressionable? I mean, was that the power of TV that Tony Beretta was telling them that?
What was the namesake on TV for him? Who did that?
Oh,
remember?
Yeah.
Fiery guy. Killed his wife.
Found not guilty, though.
You know, found not guilty.
He was in
Truman Capote.
In Cold Blood.
In Cold Blood.
And he was in Super Glide. He
was it?
He was a highway patrolman.
Robert Blake.
Robert Blake.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We didn't have any shenanigans except for the 66 girls going on a field trip to Lake of the Woods at the end of the year. Remember?
Becky, were you one of them?
It did happen.
Becky, did you get drunk in 66? Becky said no.
Well,
Becky was one of them.
Well, good.
Our class motto was
class went.
Our class motto is LGN, which stands for Let's Get Naked.
Oh, I thought it was liquid natural gas.
Gee, man.
You guys were liquid natural. Or you environmentalists or something back then?
Naturists.
Well, 65, it was all alcohol. And I'll never forget, we won the Parasol Day tournament. You might have been with me. We pull up, Skinner, Mark Bright's in the car. I think you're in the car. And they're looking for alcohol to celebrate. It's about 11 o'clock at night. And I told everybody my dad was a well-known lover of malt-based liquor. And I said, my dad carries some liquor in the trunk of his car, that old green Maverick. So they pulled up outside our house 11 o'clock, and I jumped out. And I popped the trunk. And about then, the lights on the house, the outdoor lights popped on.
Betty.
So I reached in and grabbed the first thing I could grab, jumped out, and we peeled out. We get down to the end of the block near Skinner's house, and they turn the light on, and Mark Bright picks up and says, "Oh my God, you got Mad Dog 2020. I got Mogan David wine." That's all you can't get drunk on Mogan David wine. I grabbed a bottle of Mogan, of all the things I could grab. I got Mad Dog 2020. I didn't drink, though. I just let those guys.
They had something in the old IGA, it was called Near Beer. Mm-hmm. And you could buy it even at the age of 16, 17, whatever. It was legal. I guess it had a taste like beer. I don't know.
Well, alcohol was it. I mean, if we knew.
No, you didn't have anything else.
We didn't know a thing about it.
We didn't know.
It was on the coast, you know.
Yeah.
It was out in California. It was in New York.
We didn't know.
Like everything else, it was about 5-6 years getting to the Midwest.
We were out of touch.
Well, it was certainly there when I was in school, but I never saw it.
You guys just inhaled liquid natural gas.
Yeah,
like.
I'd do it.
So you guys were into just basically getting naked and having sex. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know. I wasn't part of that either, but there were some pond side, late night swimming events, I think. So,
skinny dipping.
It was dark out.
Class, there were kids in my class. We used to go out to the USI pond or pool.
Yeah, well, you don't want to swim in the pond.
No.
You'll grow 3 heads.
No harm. Come back.
I got 55 tongues coming out of my mouth.
I did go skinny dipping a few times, but not in a large group.
Well, that's good.
I don't, David, I'm so shy. I wear a bathing suit when I take a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't want anything snagged on anything,
No.
on a tree branch or something. Well,
Yeah.
kids seem to have a good time no matter what. You just hope it's not something to kill them.
That's
We'd
true.
go skinny dipping in the pond behind Otto's junkyard.
Well, that
Ooh, that was deep.
that also took a little bit of courage.
Yeah.
There were some monsters in that thing.
That's where Ray Reedy's brother drowned.
Ray Reedy's brother drowned in that pond.
We were about the fourth grade, third, fourth grade.
Got the cramps. Cramped up. I've never understood that. I understand people that drown with the cramps. You know, I thought if I'd have the cramps, I'm going to die. I could surely tread water. But they say you can't even do that. They say you just double up.
Huh.
Go down.
Well, we were a little afraid. We heard rumors there was an undertow with an underground.
There's a drain down there. Suck you right to the bottom.
Yeah. So we didn't venture out too far.
You didn't want to get too far out in Dwayne Otto's dump anything. I remember going out there as a young kid, and Dad was taking his trash out there, and he had the headlights on, and I picked up a oil can that they opened up with a little V. I put my finger in there and just flipped it like that.
Oh, cut your finger off.
Oh, it was just flopping around.
Yeah.
I can't imagine, back in the 70s.
See it right here.
A little bit, maybe.
Right there. I was just hanging. I went over to Dad, blood everywhere in the fingers. I said, "What was that, Dad?" He goes, "Oh, idiot."
We would go out to the dredge ditch out on the north side of town and only had a couple of inches of water in it, but where the pipes would come in from the field, the water would dig out a hole big enough for a kid to get up to your neck in. So we would take off our clothes and get in there and one at a time, and because that's all there's room for anyway. And the water coming in from that field pipe pouring over your head. And in the 70s, imagine what kind of chemicals were in that water. I'm surprised I'm not glowing.
Well, Phil Deaver wrote a poem about the scattering forks, which used to start right out here east of town or west of town, about a mile. You could actually walk to the end of it. And the start of it was a big bowl-shaped thing which held water. And now they've expanded it. They've tried, but way back in the 50s, and he wrote a thing about Bill Atkinson finding fossils, troglodytes and stuff. Remember that? You ever read that poem?
I don't think
Talks about laying on the banks of that thing out there. Anyway, it's a good poem and it involves Bill Atkinson. Trivia. Well, David, what's going to be next week? Do you have any idea?
I have no idea.
Or you grab whatever's there.
I've got a bunch of sleeves like this with negatives in them. There's no date on them. So
Well, Bill and I like that. I mean, have it go from the 30s up to the today. We'll figure it out.
I have no idea what's in them till I open them up.
Kind of exciting, isn't
It'll
it?
be good. Yeah. I like them kind of simple.
Yeah.
We got a lot of them today.
Yeah, you did all right.
Well, you get the class 70, 73 and 4. You get
Well, that's when,
you get Rudy in there, and you get
of course, we were all newly kind of married and
trying to figure it out.
70, yeah. Caleb was born in 75. So we didn't get to go, didn't go to a lot of ball games or everything. I'd gone to my brother-in-law's in the early 70s.
I missed. I went in the Army.
You were gone.
I was in the Army in 71 to about 73. I missed a couple of years there. I missed the Surma ring years. And I think I just got back in time to see Rudy and Phil Waters and that team, Rick Smith play. They were a really good team.
They were really a good
Bur-
team, and I
Burris-
went to Homer to watch them get beat.
Well, then Burris never could get out of the regional.
Mhm.
He always got upset by St. Joe or somebody. And was it regional or sectional? Always got beat. He never could.
Regional, I think.
Wasn't he ahead by about 10, 20 points?
I don't
at one
know.
time?
I was over there that night.
Poor Bill. I played a lot of golf. Bill Burris coached Bill and I back in grade school back in
Had a lot of wins.
59, 60. He was our grade school coach right out of college. And he was played a lot of golf with Bill, and we called Bill Yo-Yo. He emotionally was very labile. He was up and down. he'd, he'd missed 3 or 4 short putts, and he'd literally, you'd think he's going to have a breakdown. And he said, if I didn't have any bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. And then he would chip in from 20 feet off, and he would start jumping up and down, running around the green, you know. And I said, Bill, you finally got some good luck. He said, well, it's rare. It's rare. But in coaching basketball, Bill was probably one of the most emotional coaches you ever saw. He would grab a towel, he would bend over,
Put it over his head.
he'd kick the bench, he'd bend over his head and sit there. People worried so much about him, they went to Reverend, who was the Reverend then? McConkie or somebody at the Methodist.
Yeah.
And they had a talk with him about, is he okay? He was just very, very, very emotional.
Very
He
emotional.
was my
You
driver's
knew-
ed teacher. He subbed for PE one time, and he'd coach my brother Pete, and Pete liked to shoot over his head like this, and Burrs wanted him to shoot from the chest.
Mhm.
I remember that conversation. So when he subbed for PE, we played basketball. I made a point to shoot all my shots over the head like this from top of the key, and I was hitting. I'm not a good basketball player at all, but it was like that day I couldn't miss. And Burrs is like, "Why aren't you on the basketball team?" And so, well, because I only have this kind of luck once a year, maybe.
Well, I don't know if Bill remembers this or not, but I remember playing with him 7th, 8th grade. If you goofed up or whatever and he got mad at you, he'd pull you out of the game.
Mhm.
And you'd run to the bench. It was over there on the east side of the old gym. You know, there's a
The old
wall.
North Ward. And
There's a wall and there's a
wooden
bench,
bench.
and there's a score
Mhm.
and
Score
a board
table.
right there. But you'd run to the bench and you'd see him with this wet towel. He'd be doing this, the wet towel, wrapping it up, and he would snap you in the leg or the butt. He was mad at you. And so I would run for the end of the bench and he would run after me and he would snap. And I'd slide into the wall while he's trying to snap me. And do you remember that?
Oh, you're the worst player ever. Sit down and you're never playing again.
Get
And
in there.
about 2 minutes later, get in there.
Get in
And
there.
something happened and go well, and he'd come to you. Oh, that was great. Great. Oh, I love you. No, you just told me you didn't like me.
You
You
just snapped me
never
with a
gonna
towel.
play
You
me.
snapped me with a
Yeah.
towel.
Golly. Oh, I was just fooling.
Bill was a really good athlete, played on the 53 basketball
Yeah,
team
he was a
with
good ball player.
Chad Marsh and
They had a
Atwell.
good team, Bill Dietrich.
Bill Dietrich, Atwell. Very good. He was very good. And he played football.
Yeah.
And his brother Bud played football. Wasn't quite as good an athlete as Bill. And his dad,
Moss Burris.
Moss Burris, used to be head of DeKalb. Good old Mossy.
It's
I played golf with Moss.
We don't, you know
So
what?
did you.
You know, I play golf. We don't know where I don't know where Bill's buried.
I don't know if he is.
Bud's buried out here.
Yeah.
What did Phyllis do? Phyllis Wetzel was his wife, longtime wife. You think he's in Florida? With
I don't
Phyllis?
know. I really don't know.
You think he's on the fireplace mantle? I don't remember anything about the funeral.
No.
I remember in driver's ed, I took a turn about 30 miles an hour, just about lost control of the car. Got it straightened out, got it under control. He didn't say anything. Finally, I said, I think I took that turn a little fast. And he said, "You think?"
Yeah, Bill was
Well, wasn't he?
he got mad. He got mad at me in golf. I call him a mental morphodite. He said, I don't know what that means, but I know you're making fun of me. He got a bad wreck.
Ron Thompson's daughter. Wasn't she in your class?
Yeah,
Becky, what was her
Becky Thompson had a bad wreck.
bad wreck with him?
First got hurt. She was
Yeah.
she was not a good. Nothing. I don't want to say anything bad about Becky, but she was not a good driver.
Well,
Ron Thompson ran the gas station.
Jack Shook worked for him.
Jack Shook, Jerry Shook's dad.
Catty corner from the Waddington Funeral Home.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we can remember the old stuff, Dave. We don't remember where in the world we put our checkbook or our glasses, but we can remember the old stuff.
We tend to have even trouble yet with our phones. We had one yesterday.
Bill called me the other day. Becky and I were up Champaign. Phone's ringing. It's Bill. So we put it on. And we said, "Hi, Bill, Bill." And we hear this. That's his butt cheeks rubbing against the seat of his truck. He butt dialed us. And we're going, "Bill, Bill," we're screaming. And finally we hang up. About 20 minutes later, Bill calls back and said, "Did you call me?" I said, "No, we did not call you, Bill." Yeah, Bill and I just cannot handle a smartphone.
Well, you mentioned checkbook. Who uses checkbooks anymore?
Well, I still write a check, and I'll tell you what, I don't trust that debit card. You stick it in. I mean,
I don't have a debit card.
I don't have a debit card. I don't get it. I see
All I use are debit cards.
I see people at Casey's buying a Coke for 90 cents and using a debit card. I'm going, you. But I carry cash, and then I write a check for bigger stuff. But I notice as I write the check, there's people lined up behind me just rolling their eyes. Oh, God, an old man writing a check.
I want to tell you, David, time moves on so fast, and you begin to lose friends and associations in town. And I noticed something the other day. We've got an associate, a director or whatever of the Tourism Council. It was in the paper this week. Her name's, I believe, Sherry McMahon, something like that. I have no idea who that is.
Well, she was on TV last night.
Was she?
And they were talking about the art, the gal from Villa Grove, these wonderful.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
she was on there, and I thought, who is that?
Yeah.
She's director of tourism.
And see, this week alone lost 3 people. Harlan Hatchell.
Harlan's class 67.
Good boy. And Jim Huser passed away.
Jimmy Huser?
Yeah, yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Who's
Jim Huser. And he was 82, Monday, I believe.
In memory of Harlan, I want to tell a Harlan Hatchell story. So I think it's 20-year reunion for my ex-wife's class, Ann. And I think Doug McCumber's the MC. And Doug, very successful, accomplished man, stood up and said, "I'm Doug McCumber. I'm currently the vice president of Tuscola National Bank and president of Rotary and blah, blah, blah. And I'd like everybody to stand up and tell us about where you're at in your life and how you're doing." So the next one up was Alan Sieben, stood up and said, "I'm vice president of marketing for Cargill International." And we're going, wow, So the third one up was Harlan Hatchell. And he says, "I am CEO of Cargill International. I'm Alan's boss." Everybody started laughing. So the next one up is Tuck Elder. And Tuck goes, "I don't know what you'd call me, but I'm Harlan's boss." So it kind of spun out of control.
Poor McCumber couldn't win.
Poor Doug couldn't win in that class.
Speaking of out of control, you mentioned cell phones, and I use 2 cell phones. I got my Android, and I got my iPhone.
I got Androids too. What do you do for them?
Well, you go to the doctor and have a little. So anyway, I couldn't find my phone, so I used one phone to call the other and find my phone, but it didn't answer it. But with this AI stuff, we talked about AI off the air earlier, and this AI stuff, it'll write text messages for you. So my one phone responded to the other phone, and it responded back. I think the 2 of them are dating now. They're just they're talking back and forth amongst themselves.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's gremlins. There's digital gremlins in these things. It's like our refrigerator. About every 3 months, our refrigerator just quits working. And we paid repairmen to come. And finally, a guy said, "Here's what you do. You unplug it for 10 minutes and plug it back in. And it always works." Mm-hmm. It's like a computer. You reboot it.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I wish they could reboot me.
Well, I've tried to plug you in many times.
Maybe you buy a new refrigerator.
Well, that's the problem. It's a new refrigerator.
Mm.
The old ones never quit. The new ones are computers. Everything's digital. They talk to you. Modern world, Bill and I are too old for it. One of the good things about getting old is you're ready to let the young kids mess with the artificial intelligence.
They can have it.
Before we came on the air, Dave was showing us how he could type in artificial intelligence and create a scene, like a locker room with benches and football equipment laying on and a dirty towel. He said, put a dirty towel on the floor and showed a rumpled up towel that actually cast a shadow on the bleachers and actually was a shiny shadow on the floor. It was absolutely artistically perfect.
Yeah, it looked like it was part of the original actual photograph.
So Bill and I and Andre's an artist. Andre won the Art Award in 67. Steve Barron, I got it in 65. I used to like to, we're not needed anymore.
No.
Just tell Gork,
Gork,
the computer, Gork, draw me a masterpiece. Yeah. We're humans won't be needed in about 10, 20 years.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, you said we're going to be needed to do the prompts,
Yeah, somebody's got to put the prompts in.
Yes. I was going to sit home and watch PBS, but now I hear out of Washington they want to cut that out.
Oh no, don't cut PBS. Don't cut Big Bird. Big Bird's my hero.
That's it.
I think Big Bird's on HBO now, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
Yeah, I think PBS sold Sesame Street to HBO some years ago.
I watched PBS News. I think it's good news.
It is good news.
Do you watch News Nation?
Yes.
I thought that was the oddest thing for PBS to do that because, PBS, Sesame Street is geared toward lower income, set in an urban setting, and they sell it off to HBO. With the people in the setting that is Sesame Street, they don't pay for subscriptions to HBO. So they're never gonna, get to see it.
David, I think Bill and I are in agreement here. Becky and I are starting to watch News Nation now for our news. And we watch Cuomo and all these guys, and they actually bring on both the liberal and the conservatives and just have it out.
Yeah.
And I think it's really refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very respectful.
Have a conversation,
argue, good, like you and I, good faith argument. Nobody's getting mad.
I think is that the one that there's one, I think it may be News Nation that uses my cousin Bill as a expert on military.
Yeah, the general.
Quite a bit.
Yeah. But they have
both go-to person.
Cuomo's liberal. He's on a thing with O'Reilly, a conservative. They argue back and forth. Very, very congenial. Mm-hmm. I find it refreshing. So we're really enjoying that.
Yeah, I like that. I don't watch a lot of broadcast news programs, and one of the reasons is I don't like hearing people yelling at each other and talking
at
each other.
They don't yell. I
know that's what I'm saying is
they're good debates.
That would be refreshing.
And they're good debates. They're respectful, and I think the nation's hungry for that kind of fair, balance. Show both sides. Discuss it. Don't take yourself too seriously. Which Bill and I don't. Would you agree?
Oh, I say every day we're less and less.
Yeah.
Our sponsors this week are Trust Bank and the Elite Builders. And
thank you guys or gals.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you, folks.
Next Saturday, we've got Christmas Town in Tuscola. Mike and I have a book signing along with the Pringles and a couple others.
What is the time of that, by the way?
I had to look it up in the paper.
12 to 1:30.
I think so.
Should I take my old charge card thing and slide across?
Well, I
just touched your card to my forehead.
How many books are you going to bring?
Well, I thought about one or two.
I'm going to bring 10. I hope I sell one or two.
Well, that's one of those things, early on in life, one of my great lessons was the Easter egg hunt out at the park when I was about 7, 8 years old. And I didn't take anything. but I grabbed some eggs and had 50 cents on them a quarter. One guy had about 5 buckets
Mm.
and he ran all around and he never did get one egg. And I thought, don't ever go in with 5 buckets. So I'm going to take a few books. Hope I sell a couple. Mostly looking forward to sitting next to you.
Well, I've got a couple people that want your book that I need to take care of, so we'll get them signed and then I'll get them to them.
Okay. Look forward to it, David. It's Christmas Town Day, isn't it?
Christmas Town.
And then you
Tuscola Warriors play at 1 that day.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. It just worked out that way. They're home Friday night. And they're home again on Saturday afternoon.
We volunteered last night for Becky's buddies for the kids to come shop, and a lot of fun. A lot of kids were there shopping for their families and makes it affordable for them. And
talked to Becky the other day at the community building. Becky and Gary were in there doing some preparation. Good to see them. I've seen them for a long time.
The other thing that I enjoy is that Tuscola's downtown is hopping a little bit now. And when we were young, it was a hopping place.
Yeah.
It was busy.
This young lady doing the things on the windows.
Oh, we talked to her. Becky and I talked to her. She's a nice gal.
That's nice.
I'm glad Tuscola reached out.
Spruced it up a little bit.
Go out to IGA. She's got a color one out at IGA.
I think I saw that the other day.
Great
I
job.
was shopping.
Great job. She's out there freezing weather painting. I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, I have to go look at it. I like the ones downtown that are all white. They all, it kind of brings all the buildings together, similar style.
Amazing. She at the vault, she did animals. She did bears and a wolf. She freehands that. I mean, there's no pattern. She just takes off painting. But go out and look at the IGA, which has got Santa Claus and some stuff. It's really, and it's color.
Huh.
It's quite a thing. She's very talented.
Enjoyed it, David.
Yeah.
All right.
See you Saturday, Dave.
All right. And we'll see everyone next week on Remembering Tuscola.